Hello there everyone, my name is Dude, back again with yet another weekly installment of Sit Down Saturdays, a series where every single Saturday I sit down and discuss topics on the top of my mind that have sort of been floating around for the last week or so, but I don't really think warrant an entire video, so I just sort of spout random thoughts and things I want to talk to you guys about, sort of more personal topics you could say, and as well as at the end of each episode we do a Q&A, and if you want to ask some questions for next week's episode, please be sure to comment them down below, or you can tweet me at _Jared0711, any questions you have, and I will get to them in next week's episode. With that being said though, I want to give a quick shout out to a guy by the name Greg James, and he is battling some cancer right now, and I want to say, man, I'm praying for you. I hope things go best for you. I hope you beat that cancer. Greg James, he is a fan of my videos apparently, and it means a lot that you're a fan, and I really hope that you can beat this cancer. Thank you, London, for letting me know about him, and I really hope that things will go best for you. Apparently, he has a week to live, and I think this might be a troll, but in case it's not, I don't want to offend you. I apologize if this is real, Greg, but just in case it isn't a troll, which I do believe you, London, I want to say, Greg James, man, just stay through. Hopefully, you can fight through, and hopefully, you will be here next week. And with that being said, though, let's get into the Q&A. So as I did say, we're going to do a Q&A once again for this video, as I don't really have any topics to discuss. I did record, I think, about 5 or 6 minutes worth of commentary, but listening back to it, it was sort of preachy and rambly, and they weren't really good topics to begin with, so I figured I'd just do another week of Q&A. Next week, I think I have a few things I want to discuss, but for this episode, we're going to answer some more questions, because there's a lot of questions to answer, and I really appreciate all the questions coming in. But with that being said, though, the first question is coming in from Tommy Davis, and he says, or asks, since by the time you do the next video, the game will be out, what are your initial thoughts on Watch Dogs? Watch Dogs has been a game that has been a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of good moments with it, but overall, as a total title, I don't really see myself playing it that much in, say, a month or two from now. It's definitely a solid game, but it's similar to the Assassin's Creed games. I can see why people love the Assassin's Creed games, and I've had some fun in the Assassin's Creed series, but I just get bored of the games. That's looking like what it's going to be with Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs, the city doesn't really feel alive to me. I mean, some people might disagree with that. Just everything with Watch Dogs, it's fun, don't get me wrong. I'm going to finish the campaign for sure. I believe I just started Act 3, I think, last night, but it's just, I don't see myself playing it in a month from now. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 if numbers mean anything too, and I don't know, it's definitely a good game. You guys should rent it for sure if you still have that option. I'm not sure if you should buy it or not. If you are interested in open world games, it's definitely a good open world game. It's an okay game. That's what I'm going to say. It's fun. Just, I think I might get bored of it in the near future because I'm already starting to slow down a little bit on it. But anywho, that was a really long time to answer that question. We'll now get on to the next question. Coming up next, we got Muscled RMH, and he is asking, how many days/hours did you play on Titanfall right now? I believe I have about 2.5 days put into Titanfall, which is probably not as much as you were expecting. But that's because I've been pretty dang busy recently, and I haven't had a ton of time to actually sit down and play games in general. I mean, for this last week, I've especially been playing a lot of Watch Dogs, but in the previous weeks and stuff like that, I just haven't been playing a ton of games to begin with, because YouTube's a very time-consuming thing, and a lot of YouTube is not actually playing the games. It's more recording the commentary, editing, rendering, doing thumbnails, and more businessy, not businessy, but like behind-the-scenes work, and it's a very time-consuming thing doing YouTube, as well as school. Finals are coming up, so that's been a little more hectic in these last few weeks, and playing Titanfall, it's definitely a really fun game. I'm not going to stop playing anytime soon. I have about 2.5 days put in, and that's where I'm at right now with Titanfall. Andy260897 is coming up next. I believe I got that right. Hopefully I did not miss that 6 this time, Andy. And he asked, Destiny, Hunter, Titan, or Warlock? I actually don't know what the classes consist of. I know what they are. I just don't know specifically what they all do. I probably should have did some more research. Actually, you know what? I'll be back one quick second. I'm doing a little bit of research, and I'll get back to you with my answer. Alright, so I did some quick research on the Destiny wiki, and I like the Titan. The Titan the best. I think the Titan's going to be the class I'm going to play a lot of, and, well, I'm going to read this quick little quote from you that's on the description. Titan heritage is rooted in strength, sacrifice, and mercilessness. I like that. I like to be the strong sort of armor guy, and that's that's his class specialty. He's a very heavy damage and heavy armor guy, and I like the mercilessness part as well, and the sacrifice stuff. Yeah, no survivors is what I like to say, so that is my response, Andy, to your question. All right, now we got Sniper with a 3CZ asking, what generation are you in Titanfall? I am Generation 3 right now, and I've been stuck on this Plasma Railgun challenge for quite some time now. You're supposed to get 50 Titan kills with a Plasma Railgun, and I just can't do it. I'm so bad with it. I think I'm 14 off right now, and that's still going to take me quite some time. I've been stuck on Generation 3 for like the last 2 months now almost, which is absolutely crazy. And yeah, last 2 months. I've been stuck on Gen 3 for so long because of that dang challenge, and yeah, I'm on Generation 3 right now currently. But I'm going to try to get to Generation 4 within the next week or so hopefully I'll be there very soon. Coming up next, we got Jimmy Doherty, and he asked, are you out of school yet? No, unfortunately, I don't get off till the end of June. I believe it's the last Thursday of June, which is the 26th, I want to say. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't get out till the end of June. And then a second question is, do you have a job outside of YouTube? No, Jimmy, I don't, because I got that YouTube money. I'm kidding about the YouTube money part, but no, I don't have a job outside of YouTube, and don't really plan on getting a job in the summer or anything like that, because I want to work on YouTube videos. That's really what I want to do in the summertime, and I'm a really stressed out person. I think I get overly stressed about a lot of things, and getting a job would just add more to that. And while I would get some money off of it, no, I don't have a huge need to have a lot of money. And not that I'd be making a ton of money working at some sort of fast food job or like a store or something like that during the summer. Just, yeah, I don't have a job and don't really plan on getting a job anytime soon. And that's what I got to say for that. Drew Vest is coming up next, and he says, hi, I love your videos. You are amazing in Titanfall. Well, thank you so much. That really does mean a lot. And his question is, do you like Ratchet & Clank? If so, what is your favorite game? Well, actually, I grew up playing the PS2 for the most part. I started playing games on PS1, but that was shortly, I grew up at the end of the PS1's life cycle, and then actually I believe we sold our PS1 and partially to help us get a PS2, so my early childhood memories of gaming did take place on the PlayStation 2, and in return, Ratchet & Clank was an absolutely huge game on the PS2. That was when it was at its peak, I'd say, so I played a lot of Ratchet & Clank. Ratchet & Clank's actually my third favorite franchise in gaming of all time, with Crash Bandicoot being number 1, Sly Cooper being number 2, and Ratchet & Clank being number 3, all Sony games. And my favorite Ratchet & Clank game would probably be the second one called Going Commando. I really like that game. It'd probably be Going Commando. Up Your Arsenal, which was the third one, was pretty good, but I don't really remember playing it a ton. I don't know if we owned it. I knew we rented it quite a bit, or we rented it a few times, but Going Commando was the one that I absolutely loved. The first one's fantastic as well. Going Commando was the game that I put a ton of time into, and that's definitely my favorite Ratchet & Clank game. Some of the newer ones have been a bit of a flop, but the future games were pretty good as well. But anyways, I'm stop rambling on about Ratchet & Clank. I could talk about it forever, but we're now going to go on the next question. Leland Januska is asking this week, do you believe something should be done to add more weapon diversity to Titanfall? Not adding more weapons per se, but balancing things a bit differently. I find myself running into the carbine 9 out of 10 times while playing. I think adding slightly more recoil to the R101C so it can't reach out insane distances would be a perfect balance. Thoughts? Yes, I absolutely agree with that. I think adding more recoil would be a big fix to the game, to the R101C. As far as some of the other weapons go as well, I would like to see some balances done, especially to weapons like the G2A4, I believe is what it is. I always get the weapon names mixed up in this game. And then also the Hemlock, I think should get buffed a little bit as well. But back to the R101C, yes, I would really like if they were to add some more recoil to that, maybe even decrease the damage a little bit. I mean, depending on how much recoil they add, that would depend, but I really do think that they should nerf the R101C for sure, as it does seem to beat out any weapon in the game. And if you're new to Titanfall, I pretty much always recommend using the R101C, because it's such a good gun, and it's on its own level that I really don't think that it should be on compared to all the other weapons. And if they were to bring the weapon down to the balancedness words to all the other weapons, I think it would really help the game overall. Daddy Ang is crazy comes in with saying, awesome job, and glad to see some Titanfall content again, thank you. And his question is, does Respawn plan on rewarding people who completed all 50 goosers? I've been waiting for my dang rewards. Also, can you dunk? Well, first off, here's my dunk. Yeah, that's the best I can do. Well, I may be tall, I have no hops at all. I can't jump for... Yeah, I'm absolutely terrible at jumping. That's something I'd really like to improve this summer. I'd like to get my weight down a little bit. I'm about 230 right now, 6'5", and it'd be nice to get down to maybe 205 or something like that. As well as improving my vertical overall would be fantastic, because I love playing with some basketball, just my hops are horrible. So, yeah, so that the NBA clip there, that's the best I can do. And as far as the challenge goes, the Gooser Challenge and those being rewarded, yes, apparently you are supposed to be getting rewarded. At some point in time, Respawn said that in the future, they would reward those those who completed the original Gooser Challenge, which was 50 Goosers, but I haven't heard an update from that. Once I do hear an update about it, I will for sure make a video on it, but as of right now, I have not heard anything, which sucks, because you guys, that's a ton of work. Well, it's super hard compared to what it is now, which is 5, and you guys should definitely get something, but as it did say, there's been no news that have been released about it as far as the Gooser Challenge rewards going out, but as it did say, once we do get some news, I will be sure to make a full video on it whenever that does come. Coming in next, we got Dave Davidson with a lot of questions, and I appreciate all of them, and we're going to go rapid fire. Well, not rapid fire, but I'll go through them a little bit faster. And he asked, do you believe in talent? Yes, I believe that you can be better at something than other people. Just, as far as being successful and stuff like that, obviously, I don't know. I don't really have any tips on being successful. If I did, I think I'd be massive on YouTube anyways. But back to the talent thing, I think, well, yeah, I guess your question is just talent. But if we're going to tie that into being successful, I think if you want to be successful, it's a combination of luck and talent, and, well, maybe a little bit more than that, too. But talent, I do believe in. You can be naturally, as far as being naturally gifted, maybe is what you're asking about more specifically. Yes, I think you can, just for some reason, be better at something. As far as genetics go, they can help you in certain sports, for example. I do believe in talent, and I think if you practice a lot of things, you become very talented as well. And, yeah, that's... yeah, for the most part, I think that it's more of a learning curve. I just read the second part of your question. I didn't fully read that question. And yes, I think for the most part it's learning, but there also are some naturally gifted people, for example, in sports that are just, they won the genetic lottery and they're absolutely ripped from doing nothing, for example. But I do think that for the most part, if you want to be talented at something, you got to practice. His second question is favorite school subjects. That would be social studies and language arts. I used to be a huge math person. In my most recent vlog, I mentioned that I got an absolutely horrible mark in math. Math's sort of gone downhill for the last few years, but I am hoping as I do enter high school, high school in this area is grades 10 to 12. I know in the US it's 9 to 12, and also where I used to live it was 9 to 12, but anyways, in the school that I'm in, well, the general area, it's 10 to 12. So anyways, when I say high school, I mean grades 10 to 12. So I'm entering grade 10 next year, and I'm going to try to get my math mark up. But as far as my favorite subjects, as I did say, it would be social studies, because I love to talk about current issues and politics. I'm not really a fan of the history side of social studies, which I guess social studies is also known as history. And grade 9's been all about current events, so that's why I love it so much, because we're also talking about a lot of issues and a lot of political stuff, which I absolutely love. And then language arts, because I want to enter the entertainment business. I also really like to read, or not, no, I'm not actually that big of a fan of reading. Not that I have a problem with it, just I really like to write, and yes. And his final question is music genres. I'd say rock, and more specifically alternative rock. My favorite band, without a doubt, is Coldplay. I love Coldplay so much. Recently, their new album that came out, or that they came out with, Ghost Stories, I've been a little bit disappointed with. But besides that, Coldplay is definitely, without a doubt, my favorite band, which I believe they're alternative rock. And I used to be a big fan. I still do like Linkin Park quite a bit as well. And yeah, that's really Coldplay, without a doubt. That was my favorite band. I mean, I like other types of music. I also like some more techno-ishy stuff, not dubstep, but just sort of house music, I guess, or trap. I'm not sure. I'm not really too educated in the whole electro subgenres and stuff. So I'd say a mixture of alternative rock and I guess a little bit of electro music. I listen to a lot of Monster Cat videos as well, so that's what I have to say on those. Thank you for asking all those questions. Alright, Tekkins has the question of when do you estimate Titanfall 2 will come out, with 3 thumbs up. Well, Tekkins, and he also has a second comment, he commented on that, and he said also really hoping the next one will come with a really good quality campaign. Not saying that one's campaign is bad, just I'd rather see a story. Actually, I see you're trying to be a little nice there, but I really did not like the campaign. I don't know what the story was. There really wasn't a story in the campaign. There wasn't even a campaign technically for Titanfall. I mean, I guess there was, but I really wish that Titanfall would have had a full-fledged out campaign, because they're the original Infinity War guys. The Infinity War guys have always been really good at doing stories, and I think that if they were to do a full campaign for Titanfall 2, that'd be fantastic. But back to the main question, when do you estimate Titanfall 2 will come out? Sometime in 2016. I'd say maybe around March, so like 2 years after the first game came came out, or sometime maybe towards the end of the year. But I do think 2016 is going to be the year when Titanfall 2 comes out. I could be wrong on that. Maybe they're going to go with a 3-year cycle, but I think that they'll most likely do a 2-year or a game every 2 years, and so sometime 2016 is what I'm going to put my money on. My favorite PC elitist, also known as Duncan Clark, is coming in next with the second final question, and he asked, he says, excuse me, I'm trying to find his question. For my next question, how much money would you spend on a gaming PC, and what would your specs be? And he also says, on a side note, what difficulty did you play Wolfenstein on? Well, for the Wolfenstein thing, I played on the medium difficulty, but I did lower it for the last 2 missions to the lowest difficulty, as I wanted to sort of get through the campaign, and that was a very busy day, and I kept on dying, so I finished the game on the lowest difficulty. You can laugh at me if you want to, but that's what I did. But back to the PC stuff, I ideally would like to go all out and spend a boatload of money on a PC. When I say a boatload, I mean like $3,000-$4,000, but I don't see myself getting $3,000-$4,000 unless you guys want to donate, or maybe we can get one of my videos to go viral. Yeah, but more realistically, I think maybe like a $1,200 to $1,500 range, which I know some of you guys might be like, you don't have to spend that much, but I want a PC that's going to last for a while as well, something that'll be good to stream and game. And I know some of you guys are still going to say you can get one for like $800, but I want to get a better than that PC. I don't know, but so like maybe a $1,200 to $1,500 range. But as it did say, if I were in a better situation, I go for a $3,000 to $4,000 or style PC. As far as my specs, I don't have a clue. I don't know what things cost. I mean, back again, as I've said, I love to get an absolutely beastly PC like dual Titan Blacks, TIs, things, and I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's my response to that. If you want to discuss more PC stuff with me, I would be open to that, and maybe you can help me assemble a PC. I also have a couple other guys that have offered. Then also I have some friends. I've been talking about PCs and building a PC for quite some time now. Just if any of you guys want to help me build a PC and work with my budget, maybe that would be great. Once again, I'm still not sure what my solid budget's going to be, and I'm really hoping to get it built sometime this summer. I'm not sure I'm going to get that money, but we'll see. I want to get a new PC sometime soon so I can start streaming. But I'm gonna wrap this video up with a final question coming from a dear friend by the name Cake and Rubik's, in which he asks, if you could make a game, what game would you make, and what major mechanic would you want in it, e.g. parkour, time controlling, superpowers, and etc.? Well, I'd have to say parkour is a must. I love some parkour in my games. Guns, lots and lots of guns, and superpowers. I like those ideas. As far as some other things, I really like the whole superpowers idea. A fantastic game that I love to create one day would be a photorealistic sort of gang wars thing where there's some guys that are like these diamond suits, there's some super rich ballers up against some other gang members. I really like the idea of gang wars, but I love like an open world, I guess. Yeah, like a super open world game, but you get to choose what gang you're in, and they're these massive multiplayer games, so there's thousands of people in these servers, and they're absolutely huge maps, like maybe a quarter the size of North America big. I mean, that big. I'd love to fund a game like this once I got that billionaire money, hopefully one day. But yeah, I guess a huge open world game that consists of gangs, but maybe not necessarily gangs, but you can choose what sort of team you want to be on. It would be a shooter game, it would be a first-person game. A first-person open-world game that's absolutely massive, and tons of customization, and superpowers. I wouldn't go too far with superpowers. I would like some teleportation, maybe not invincibility or invisibility, or maybe a little bit of invisibility, but yeah, also parkour would be very cool as well. I'm not really a fan of the time controlling thing. I would like some time travel, maybe, where everyone on the server would be put back, or well, I really like maybe different for different servers in the game would be in different time periods, so we'd have like a Western version of the world, and like a 1800s Western version, and then like a futuristic. I don't know. This is the sort of questions that Cake and Rubik's asks, and I go on these tangents apparently when I'm just sort of making up things off the top of my head. But a game like that would be really cool. Now thinking about it, I just blew my mind for how awesome that sounds. I don't know. I really like open world games, but also really like FPSs. And if theoretically you could have a huge, when I say huge, I mean absolutely huge, maybe even the full size North America size and to scale game, that would be amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Cake and Rubik's. Well, I don't have a clue how long this video was. I'm going to assume it's been pretty long, as I did go pretty in-depth with all those questions. As per usual, I appreciate all the questions coming in. If you guys could leave some more questions for next week's episode, that would be highly appreciated, as I will discuss them next week. In next week's video, I will try to have some actual topics to discuss besides just doing a Q&A, but I really like doing this video every single week, and yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Jared, you guys. Yet another weekly installment. I'm pretty sure this actually will be going up on Sunday. Once again, technically, I'm sorry. It's it's sometimes a Saturday, sometimes a Sunday sit-downs. Hopefully that's okay with you. But thank you guys so much for watching. As I did say, my name's Jared, and I'll talk to you tomorrow or maybe later today with yet another video. Goodbye.